So let's take this. Take down.
Well, here is the end of October, and this is one of the hunts I've anticipated for 12 years. 12 years because I'm here with my oldest son, Kohl. It's his very first big game hunt. I think I've been more excited than he has. We applied for this hunt together. We're both able to draw, and we're up here trying to get Kohl's first buck.
Hi, my name is Kregg Thomassen. I'm 12 years old. I'm here in Montana with my dad, hunting mule deer. This is my very first hunt. I'm really excited for it. I'm shooting the Gunwerks 6XC. Shot it a couple times down at the range, feeling really confident. You know, I'm missing a week of school. It's all good. You know, I'm pumped for this hunt. Can't wait.
Seen some does and a few small bucks working this bottom field. So we just saw a couple go up on this ridge, so we're gonna try to get up to one of these upper knolls behind us and glass for the morning. So that's what we're gonna do, that's the plan.
We just walked up here. There's this nice 4-point just sitting right here by this gate. Try to get him. But when we got up here, we can't see him anymore. We think he's just bedded down. We're just gonna walk over here to this gate, this hill over here, and see if we can find him.
There's no way we're getting closer to this buck. We ranged him, what was it? 690?
6, yeah.
He's 690 yards. You know, that's a pretty good poke, especially for your first buck. But, you know, to Kohl's credit, we shot one time today, and, you know, he just nailed dead center. So, as long as we have time to set up, I think we can get this buck.
You just killed him dead in his bed. You just killed him dead in his bed.
Holy crap. Holy smokes. Oh man.
He just killed him.
Holy crap.
Dead in his bed.
Holy
How did you do that?
Oh,
That
baby.
was awesome.
Oh, just that adrenaline rush. Just got him right there. Put the 1 minute mark right on his shoulder. Just pulled the trigger nice and easy. Holy smokes. I'm so happy right now. I can't believe I just did that.
How far was he?
Man. What?
How far was he?
I don't know, what was it, 650? 648?
649.
649? Oh my smoke. Man, I'm so happy right now. I want to go down and see him. Oh, baby. Holy cow. Ah. Oh, man. Oh. He does have little eye guards. Look at that.
Oh, he's got little daggers. Nice.
Woo.
Look at that. He's even got a broken off fifth on this side.
Oh, man. How would that have been?
And those are cool.
Those are
Little daggers
way
coming
cool.
down.
Holy cow. Man, I'm so happy right now. This moment. Ah.
Oh. Hey guys, I apologize if the video's wobbly, if the sound's crappy, if it's shaky. But you know what? This is the best hunt I've probably ever been on. Oh. Say big bucks rule!
Big bucks roll. Holy cow. This is just awesome.
This week, our tip is on determining and sizing brass so that you have the proper amount of case neck tension on your bullet so we have a consistent, accurate round. There are a lot of different techniques that we can apply in reloading for long-range shooting. I personally like to sort out all the extra stuff that really doesn't matter downrange, but sizing your brass appropriately so that you have proper neck tension is one of those things we do need to pay attention to. Essentially, let's understand the relationship between the bullet, the brass, your chamber in your barrel, and your resizing die. If we realize how everything interfaces and how our equipment operates on that, we'll be a lot better at understanding which equipment to select and the processes we need to do. When you have a sized and loaded round, we have a dimension that is the diameter of the neck. Now that diameter on this shell, this is one of our 7 LRMs, we're running about 317.5 is our diameter with a 162 grain AMAX loaded in there. So to have neck tension, or to have tension on the bullet so that it's held in the case, so it's not seated in deeper when you fire shots with rounds loaded in the magazine, or you don't bump it and seat it in the case, or you don't have a bullet fall out on you. You need to have enough case neck tension to hold that bullet in place. Now, what we need to do is size a piece of brass small enough that when you seat the bullet, the expansion of that brass and the residual stress and tension that's in there compresses onto that bullet and holds it in place. For our brass, usually we're looking for about 2/1000ths of an inch, and we need to size this neck so that it measures 2/1000ths, 1.5 to 2/1000ths less than the loaded round there. So we were 317.5 to 318 on a loaded round. I've selected a 316 bushing in my die set, and that bushing will compress the brass so that the diameter is 316, and then we'll have 2/1000ths neck tension. If I tear this die set apart, this is from Hornaday's Custom Shop, they'll make you a special die set that accepts a bushing, and this bushing is what does the sizing operation on the brass to bring it into spec. Now this bushing says 316 right around the rim, so I know what size I'm using. You place that back in the die set, and then on new brass I'm going to use an expander ball to open up the mouths of the case, and we'll use a little sizing die wax so that we don't stick anything. Now if I check this diameter, I expect it to be pretty close to 316. I'm right there at 315 and a half. So with my loaded round at 317 and a half and a sized case ready to seat a bullet at 315 and a half, I have 2/1000ths of neck tension. And that's going to allow me to have a consistent release on my bullet without doing any overwork on my cartridge. One thing you really want to watch for when you're picking your die set is that you're running a full-length bushing die. If you've got a standard die, go ahead and do some of this operation and check it and see if it's compressing that neck and sizing that neck so you have adequate neck tension, but not too much. There's really nothing you can do to make it bigger. You do not want to do your last size and opening of the mouth of the brass on that expander ball. So you may need to polish the expander ball to get that relationship between your brass and your sizing die correct. Spend some time, do a little research, pick up a good set of sizing dies, set them up with the proper bushing, and when you load your ammunition, your cartridges will have the consistent and correct amount of neck tension so that your shots are consistent and on target downrange. Thanks for watching. We're going to continue to bring you more shooting tips. Look for extra tips at youtube.com/Gunwerks, or hang out and watch for our new reloading DVD coming this fall.
It's all over the place. We're out here on the edge. First shot, 25-mile-an-hour wind. Tell you what, that's a tough shot. Hey, I'm Mike Davidson with Gunwerks. On this week's Tough Shot, we're going to hit a moving target. Now, we've had a lot of requests for us to try this one, and the question is, how much lead do you actually give that target? Personally, I'd never shoot at an animal while it was walking, never on a first shot, but what if, just in that one situation where you get a wounded animal, he's walking away, and you've got to make that shot. Now, on our G7 ballistics program online, it's free for everyone to use, you can actually calculate your target lead. You can pick how fast, at how far, and it'll give you a correction in minutes of angle or inches on how far you should lead that target. Now we're going to have this target moving about as fast as a deer would walk or a person would walk in that 2 to 3 mile an hour range. Now it does make a difference. On a 2 mile an hour lead, at 700 yards, that's where our target is, we're going to have about 30 inches of lead, so just over 4 minutes. 3 mile an hour, which is probably closer to 3 mile an hour, at 700 yards, we're going to have about a 47-inch lead. So it works out to where it's about 16 to 18 inches per mile an hour, at least in that first 5 mile an hours anyway. So we've got our target down here at 700 yards. We're using one of our Carbonex 6XCs. We're going to get loaded up. We're going to get that target moving, and we're going to see if we can pop that balloon. We've got a little 18-inch piece of steel with a balloon taped to it, and we're going to try to move that thing across there about 2 to 3 mile an hour. So we'll get loaded up, see if we can hit that target. Oh, there we go. Well, I think that was about in that 2.5 mile an hour range. It ended up being about 4 minutes of hold. Missed it on the first shot, gave it just a little bit too much. I was thinking more like a 3 mile an hour, and I held 5.5, 6 minutes. I shot right out in front of it, so I corrected, dropped it down to 4 minutes, which at 700 yards is about 30 inches of lead, and drilled it dead center. So that's pretty cool. So I guess you can hit a moving target. What I want to do is we'll go back there, we'll put a new balloon on it, and let's pull it across there as fast as we can, and let's see if we can tag it before it gets to the finish line. Be right back. All right, just reset that target. We're gonna start pulling it about twice as fast. Here we go. Oh yeah, bullseye. See that one right in the middle? So that's at a good brisk walk. It looks like if you go to the G7.com ballistics calculator, you can put in your target leads in miles per hour. So a brisk walk, it looks like it's going to be about a 3-4 mile an hour. You know, a deer running would obviously be a lot faster. But it looks like you can get your calculations off the G7 website, and it's money. I mean, that was a six-minute hold at 700 yards at a brisk pace. So I think, like I said, you'd never shoot at an animal that first shot while it was moving. You'd always wait for that nice broadside shot. But in some case, if there's a wounded animal and he's getting away from you, just about to go over the hill, have your calculations down, do the practice, get them off of G7.com, and make the shot when you need to. I'm Mike Davidson with Gunwerks. Next week for another tough shot.
All right, it's day 3 of our hunt. Kohl killed himself an awesome buck last night, and we were up clear on this range behind us this morning, glassing, freezing our butts off, huh? But we saw 2 bucks way off. Didn't look like real big bucks, and so we decided to come back to camp. On our drive back to camp, one of the guys we're with, Andy, Eagle Eye Andy, we call him, he actually spotted this buck just up on this little rim, and he was just walking 2 steps and bedded down. He's tucked up under a good spot, but I can just see the back part of his body and the right side of his rack. It looks like a 4-point on his right side, and so we're gonna try to sneak up through this grass and get to a spot. He's about 500 yards right now, so I think we can sneak up, maybe get a little bit closer, and hopefully put a shot on him. So here goes nothing. Dad's turn. .412 yards. He's really hard to see. He's just, I mean, he's tucked in it right in the shadows. Gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I've never had a shot like that before. Oh my gosh, I was shaking so bad. My fingers are freezing. Wind's blowing. I could not get comfortable. I was set up on that backpack and those sticks, and in the wind, you know, it's just so much different than shooting, you know, prone. But we got it done. Put it high on his shoulder. It was 400 yards, about right on the numbers. 7mm did his work. Anchored him right there in the spot. Just like Kohl does, right?
Yep, nice shot.
Well, let's go check him out. We got him. Look at that. Look at that buck. He's pretty, isn't he?
Oh my God.
There he is, bud. You know, making that shot, it's blowing really hard down the valley right now. I've been able to make that shot at 400 yards. I mean, I had a little window to shoot through, had to make it count. Took me a while to get set up, but when I finally did, he didn't even move. Whew. $2, 2 days. That's the way we do it.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay?
Let me take a couple.
Hunting apparel for long-range pursuit provided by Sitka and Kinatrek Boots of Montana. License applications made through Cabela's Tags. Brought to you by Gunwerks, G7 Optics, Night Force, Hornady, and Caldwell Shooting Supplies.
Nice shot, bud. How'd it feel?
Good. Feel great.
You ready to go hunting?
Let's do it. I'm shooting the Gunwerks 6XC. It's feeling really good, almost 3,000 feet per second. Shot at the range. I'm loving it. It barely kicks. Gosh, dang it, there's a bee by me. I'm missing a whole week of school, which I'm lucky my mom let me. She's really strict on that stuff.
Don't keep a straight face.